One top tip to save you hours when preparing for interviews. I know your time is precious, so I am just going to focus on this one top tip and let you guys go ahead and implement it, because honestly, it is game changing. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi, my name is Miss Paris, and on my channel you can find tips, advice and information all about teaching, as well as being able to follow along with my own personal journey. So if that's something that interests you, go and hit the subscribe button and go and check out some of my previous videos, as well as checking out some of my playlists if you're looking for anything in particular. So this one top tip, we know that interview preparation is key. It is key to sounding confident in your answers. It is key to making sure that you've researched the school and that you can link the school into your answers. But how do we avoid that cognitive overload of all the information that you're trying to remember? If you have my interview bundle, you'll know that my workbook has 50 potential questions, and in my Word document that accompanies it, I've got example answers, I've got prompts, I've got ideas for you to mention. However, if you're one of those people that have taken your interview preparation a little too far, and by that I mean you have tried to write a perfect example answer for every single question, you're rehearsing it in front of the mirror, you're trying to get it word for word, I mean, there's no nice way to say this, but I would scratch that. Scratch that strategy, because what is going to happen is, unless you are a natural born speaker and you have no nerves at all in those situations, you might forget those scripts. You might trip over your words, and that is just going to lead to you freaking out and just not giving it your best shot. And I don't even mean that. I mean just not representing yourself, showing your capabilities off to the fullest. So here's what you're going to do to save yourself hours. You are going to think of a variety of examples that can be adapted to multiple different situations, multiple different question categories. And so that way, if you're asked about an engaging lesson, or you're asked about innovation or creativity, maybe you're asked about behavior management, maybe you're asked about adaptive teaching, you have one example that can match all of those things. So let's say, one of the examples I love because I just think it's so fun, one of the example lessons that I think about is when we're doing moon phases and we use like little Oreos to represent the moon. And I think this is just such an engaging way. And if they ask one of those questions like, tell me about an engaging lesson, this is a perfect example to give for obvious reasons. However, you may not think about this example if they ask you about a behavior management technique, because what you can do is you can make one of your behavior management techniques the awareness of children's sensory needs. And children need to be engaged. They need to have some kind of break. You know, you're trying to limit teacher talk, etc. And so that's why, instead of having them read loads of research articles or, you know, textbooks, you got them being practical, very hands-on, you know, I don't know if they count as concrete resources, but you know, physical objects to demonstrate that knowledge. And so that could be a form of behavior management as well, because you are demonstrating that you are aware of children's needs and that behavior often comes from an unmet need. And it could also link to adaptive teaching. You know that actually some children might be able to make those moves without any support. Maybe you gave images to other children to help them when forming the certain like crescents, etc. All of these different question categories, all of these different topics can be linked back to an example. And obviously I, you know, improvise that example on the spot, but if you have time to go through, you know, your first placement, your second placement, maybe ECT1, ECT2, etc., wherever you are in your teacher journey, and you can think of some specific lessons that maybe you did a nice cross-curricular link, maybe you did outdoor learning if you know the school is very keen on outdoor learning or have a forest school. You can think of a lesson where you did really good adaptive teaching, and that is a key example to use because you've got loads of different resources in place, etc. That way you can save hours. And because you've thought of that lesson so thoroughly, or that example so thoroughly, then it avoids you having to think of A, loads of different examples, B, write it down time and time again, and instead you can focus on how you're going to adapt that to multiple different question categories. If you are interested in my interview bundle because you are wondering about what 50 questions they could ask you, then I will leave the link below, and I will leave an outline here on the screen as well for you to check out. If you are currently undergoing the job application process, then do check out all of my previous interview videos as well as my personal statement interviews, and I wish you the best of luck. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this helpful, and I will see you soon. Bye!